I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Tom Hayden, who for 50 years has dedicated his life to everything from ending wars to saving the environment. He was elected to the California State Assembly in 1982, where for 18 years he served this great state. He has been published by the New York Times, the LA Times, and has authored 20 books. He's currently the director of the Peace and Justice Resource Center in Culver City, and though he wasn't able to join us tonight in person, he's with us virtually to kick off this evening's conversation about Prop 65, because it was he, through the organizing of the Campaign for Economic Democracy in California, that led to the creation of Proposition 65 becoming the law in 1986. Tom, thank you for your time today.
I'm glad to be here. I was Jerry Brown's first chair of the Solar Energy Council back in the late 70s, early 80s. So I was in charge of coordinating the activities that led to the first development of the solar energy industry in California. And I was chair of an organization that led the campaign to end the nuclear plant Rancho Seco in Sacramento. That was successful. And I was involved along with the same organizational campaigning group to pass Prop 65, which brings us to I think brings us to today's discussion that I was asked to comment on.
Absolutely. I know we have limited time, so I'd like to ask your opinion on a few things. You led to the creation of Prop 65 really coming into being. Can you give us a brief history on how you instigated that initiative?
So in '86, the voters of California passed this initiative, which has become law, and the essence of it was to create warnings, public warnings of exposures to these chemicals, carcinogens and chemicals causing birth defects, and to ban them from any exposure that would lead to waters of the state used for drinking. So there was a warning element and a ban. We were young and naive and didn't realize that laws are never implemented.
Right.
So it's with some embarrassment that I take credit for these millions of placards you see everywhere in California warning you that you may get cancer from chemicals known to the state of California to cause cancer, which are everywhere.
Well, what was your original vision for the legislation and how that came about?
We thought that the warnings should be more specific.
Okay.
But the concept that did work, that was important, and I think is particularly important for the people gathered and listening at this conference, is that we thought that we could force companies to reformulate their products to remove these chemicals and replace them with organic or other non-toxic chemicals, because that would be the way to avoid expensive litigation. And so many things that have to do with the consumer area of products have been changed, like the lead that was routinely in the cork of a bottle of wine, the chemicals that were in nail polish. The list goes on.
Right.
Quite a large number of products have been detoxified, so to speak, by the implementation of Prop 65. So
I know the current passion is to communicate the environmental dangers of fracking. Can you explain what fracking is?
It occurred to me in the last year that Prop 65, as written, actually applies very directly to the issue of fracking, because fracking involves digging very deep holes in the earth in search of underground aquifers, water, and I mean using water to blast one's way down to underground supplies of natural gas.
Right.
Excuse me.
Yep.
And the chemicals used in the process would include chemicals that are already on the Prop 65 list. Basically, hydraulic acid, for example, or benzene, that are used to acidize in this process of fracking, are already prohibited by the state if the company or the operator cannot show that they don't impact drinking water or underground reservoirs of water. So the fracking process is in violation of the general spirit of Prop 65, and we're looking for a case to test it. Also, just today, this being Tuesday, I believe, a policy committee of the Los Angeles City Council just passed a moratorium on all fracking in the city of Los Angeles. And these are signs that fracking is coming to your neighborhood.
And in that industrial process, as you had stated there, they're very careful on the regulations on how they are using noxious chemicals and pushing them into the earth. And how do you see that process and what would be defined as noxious chemicals and how that would infect the food that's actually growing in the soil? Can you shed some light on that?
Well, I don't think anyone believes that contaminated water in the soil will be good for the food that your children eat. Let's just leave it at that.
Right.
The point is that it appears to me, at least, that fracking is in violation of Prop 65. But I think that your people in the audience should have a kindly view of Prop 65, because it's led to some great successes. One of the heroes of Prop 65 was Horst Reckelsberger, who was the founder of Veda, a company that used non-toxic alternatives in all kinds of skin cream, perfumes, body lotions, and tried to develop the idea that organic and safe, non-toxic beauty products were viable economically, and were scientifically possible to develop. He just died this week at age 72, and would have been a big supporter of the idea that we should protect our groundwater from these chemicals.
Great. So, and getting in closing, do you have any message for the producers of natural products in relation to Prop 65? And anything else you'd like to say about that?
No, just get ahead of the curve. Don't be naysayers. Don't try to defend concepts that you'll be embarrassed by or will be rendered obsolete sooner or later. There's no point promoting beauty and toxicity in the same package. I think you know that, and explore other means to protect our groundwater. The fact that we're at a peak of environmentalism in California is shown by the thousands of people, I think 100,000 at least, who petitioned Governor Brown to do something.
Yes.
That, combined with the drought, which may or may not end anytime soon, means that the water that we drink and that we utilize is more precious, infinitely precious, and must be safeguarded from experiments that are driven by profit as opposed to care and nurturing of this resource. I think it's simple, really, when you get down to it, and I hope that this has been useful for your participants.
It has been. Thank you very much, Mr. Hayden. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom Hayden, I appreciate your time and effort to get on this this conversation, and I wish you the best rest of the day, and thank you again.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.